We have lots of big news today for Tesla stock investors, including Tesla actually raising prices by over 2,000 euros in Germany. And that's just the start. We have a lot of breaking news that is very positive today for Tesla, but Tesla stock, if you've noticed, is down about 3% today. That is because CPI. And we're going to start with that. And let me just tell you right now, this was a complete disaster, and I'm honestly shocked. Markets are not down more right now, and I'm shocked Tesla is not down like 10% right now. We'll talk about exactly why here in just a moment. But this data came out at 8:30 in the morning today. Core inflation month over month came in at 0.4%. The estimate was 0.3%. Now, last month, you were at 0.3%. So this is now an acceleration on a month-over-month basis from 0.3 to 0.4. That's bad news. But across the board, inflation came in hotter than expected. Year-over-year core came in at 3.9%, the same as last month, but the estimate was 3.7%. So analysts were dead wrong there. Inflation month-over-month came in at 0.3%. The estimate was 0.2%. Again, dead wrong. Inflation year over year came in at 3.1%. The estimate was 2.9%, but that is better than last month's number of 3.4%. Now, I want to remind you guys, the Fed really pays attention to PCE, but PCE and CPI are pretty strongly correlated. If CPI is seeing a month-over-month increase to the inflation rate, odds are PCE is also going to as well. Now, why am I actually so surprised that Tesla is down less than 3% right now? It's actually because of the path of the Fed funds rate. Now, we started off this year in 2024 expecting 7 rate cuts. That dropped to 6, it dropped to 5, and now today it's dropping to 4. Now markets are pricing in 1, 2, 3, 4 rate cuts for 2024. The odds are currently 32.9%. That is the highest. But right behind it at 3 rate cuts is 27.7%. Now, believe it or not, this is actually great. If you can get markets to unprice all of the rate cuts that we have seen with minimal damage to the markets, that's great news. But we went from expecting our first rate cut in March. Now, it's not going to happen. 93% chance of a continued pause, 7% chance of a rate cut. And then we started pricing in May as the first rate cut. Doesn't look like that's going to happen as well. The odds of a pause are 63.1%. The odds of a rate cut, 34.6%. Now we're pricing in the first cut for June. The odds of a cut in June are 51.7%. The odds of a continued pause are 25.4%. Now, we have one more CPI report that comes out before the next Fed meeting, which is on March 20th. If that CPI report is also hot, then you're probably going to completely unprice the rate cut in June. Unless, of course, the economy takes a downward shift, and at that point, that's going to give stocks more downside than a hotter inflation report anyways, so if you're bullish, you don't want to see the economy get worse from here. So markets are currently pricing in 4 rate cuts. It looks like the first one currently priced in for June. And then we only have July 31st, September 18th, November 7th, and December 18th. So 4 more meetings after June. If we cut rates the first time in June and the markets are pricing in 4 rate cuts, that means we're going to get 3 rate cuts over the next 4 meetings, according to the markets following June. That doesn't seem likely to me. That would be the Fed basically cutting at every single Fed meeting. I think you're going to have to see inflation come down aggressively here over the next couple of months to see the Fed actually follow through with that. So I want to prepare you guys for potentially the markets to have to fully price out rate cuts. Maybe we do get 1, maybe we do get 2, And that's really a stretch at this point. We're not getting 4 rate cuts. We're probably not getting 3 rate cuts. 1 to 2 looks more likely. So that is why stocks are selling off so aggressively today, especially the Russell 2000. The Dow has fallen about 700 points today also. So big move lower on the Dow, S&P, and the NASDAQ. 10-year Treasury yields are jumping quite a bit to 4.31%. You're up 14 basis points today. You do have the Dow down 1.81%, S&P down 1.73%, the NASDAQ down 2.02%, and the Russell 2000 down 3.76%. The VIX is up almost 15% today. So yeah, the VIX being up 15%, Tesla stock being down 2.5%, I'll actually take that any day. I mean, if the VIX is up 15%, that is like full-blown capitulation. At least that's what it appears to be. In that context, I think Tesla stock's actually doing well. Some of the reasoning why Tesla may not be down 4, 5+% right now is because of the good news that we got today. Tesla has increased Model Y prices in Germany by up to 2,500 euros or about 2,700 USD. The Model Y rear-wheel drive seen a 2,000 euro increase, about 2,100 US dollars. The Model Y long range seen a 2,500 euro increase, 2,700 US dollars, and the Model Y performance seen the same 2,500 euro increase, which equates to $2,700. Now, this is kind of like when insiders sell stock. What I always say here on this channel, or when insiders buy stock for that matter, insiders can sell stock for a plethora of reasons. Whether they're getting a divorce, want to go on a vacation, whether they want to retire, whether they need to pay for their kids' marriage or college. There's so many other reasons why somebody would sell stock, or in this case, Tesla, lower prices. It might not be demand's necessarily poor, right? It could just be they're trying to raise volumes or sell more vehicles or reduce inventory. There's only one reason why Tesla raises prices, is because there's a lot of demand. They cannot keep up with that demand, and they want to essentially get more bang for their production. Much the same way as insiders buying stock. There's only one reason why insiders buy stock, and that is because they think the stock's undervalued. Now, Germany is the biggest market in Europe, so this will have some kind of incremental benefit to Tesla's earnings and probably help offset the price reduction of the Model Y that we just seen yesterday. It was temporary though, so it's not going to be a longer term price reduction. And when Tesla does actually raise prices again in the US on the Model Y, I'm sure that will be seen as another good catalyst for Tesla. But can we just take a moment to marvel in this? How the tables have turned. Wow. Yeah, look at that. The Cybertruck pulling a Ford out of the snow. The U.S. National Transportation Safety Board has issued a statement about Dan O'Dowd's anti-Tesla Super Bowl ad. The NTSB had no involvement in the production of this advertisement, did not authorize the use of its seal, nor does it endorse the work of the Dawn Project. The agency has asked the group to stop the unauthorized use of the NTSB seal. The National Transportation Safety Board is an independent U.S. government investigative agency responsible for civil transportation accident investigations. That is literally the first time I have ever heard of a government agency pushing back and helping, I guess, in some way to defend Tesla. I still think it's crazy that Dan O'Dowd would rather or think it's safer to have, I mean, let's just call it what it is, stupid drivers out on the road drinking and driving, doing whatever they're doing, rather than develop a software to let the car drive itself. I think he's really anti-humanity. Let's just be honest. He's anti-human at this point and doesn't want to save 50,000 plus lives just in the US every year that are taken due to car accidents. Basically, everyone that's probably watching this video knows someone that's passed via a car accident. It's really disgraceful at this point, let alone just humorous that he really wants to take this stance against Tesla and pay $7 million for a Super Bowl advertisement. I guess it's beyond me. One thing I will say is Dan O'Dowd somewhere down the line got screwed shorting Tesla. I think that's probably pretty obvious. The world's newest, largest supercharger is coming soon to Kern County, California. 164 charging stalls are planned as part of the new microgrid project off I-5 near Lost Hills. The site will include 16 pull-through chargers and solar canopies above every parking stall. Tesla has started delivering the new yoke steering with a center horn, more stitching, and overall better quality. And just from what I can see here, it does look like it is a little higher quality, especially up here. You can see how thick the leather looks compared to the other prior yoke that we had. Tesla is sending out a new email that says Discover Romance Mode. Visit a Tesla location near you to experience romance mode. See just how cozy the cabin can get with heated seats, a crackling fireplace on the touchscreen, and your favorite love songs on shuffle. I've noticed Tesla's doing a lot more of this internal promotion efforts where Tesla doesn't have to pay necessarily to send all of these emails to remind people about, the benefits of owning a Tesla and the cool things that you can do. These are incremental efforts that I see Tesla putting forth now that they were not doing in the past. I mean, even this, Tesla's North American X account says using the standard technology on a Tesla can save departments over $4,000 in police equipment. Also, significantly lower cost of ownership. The district expects $640 a year to charge each Tesla versus the estimated $2,000 it would spend on gas for a traditional police vehicle. Over 10 years, the one-time expense of charging station installation plus yearly electricity costs is cheaper than gas and oil, and there's almost no maintenance required. This comes from a post from EISD that says they will recommend Tesla for the purchase of 9 police vehicles necessary for incident response and rapid deployment to any campus in times of need. Proposed Tesla is not a luxury vehicle. It's best value to taxpayers and available in 60 days. Tesla has officially opened ordering in the US for its next generation Powerwall 3 home battery. One Powerwall 3 costs $5,880, including a 30% federal tax credit. The same as Powerwall 2, not including installation. Backup power is 64% more than before, and it can fit up to 4 units in a resident, and it is also 16% lighter than the Powerwall Plus. The Powerwall 3 is cheaper for Tesla to make and easier to install than Powerwall 2. So overall, looks like a big positive. The French government on Tuesday cut by 20% a subsidy higher income car buyers can get for purchasing electric and hybrid vehicles in order to keep from overrunning its budget to boost the number of electric cars on the road. This article from the Washington Post says a Tesla worker killed in fiery crash may be the first full self-driving fatality. Now, Sawyer Merritt provides some context here for anyone that does not read the article. He says the driver had a blood alcohol level of 0.26, more than 3x the legal limit. But sure, blame FSD. Waypo didn't give any direct evidence that FSD Beta was engaged when the crash happened. Moral of the whole story, don't drink and drive. We will have some earnings coming out right about now from Airbnb, Upstart, Robinhood, Lyft, MGM Resorts, Akumi, AIG, Zillow Group, Instacart, EQT, and some other names. Now, these are the most popular names with the most analysts that cover them, but there are other names that will be coming out. I personally have trades on Lyft, Upstart, and Airbnb. If you guys want to see all of the trades that we are making, how we are, going into earnings, getting some free contracts, riding those plays, and, well, essentially hoping for the best at that point, but nonetheless doing it in a manner in which that hopefully minimizes risk. If you deploy risk management strategies, come learn all of that with us down below in the description of this video. You can come join the trading community. Now, throughout the rest of this week, you are going to get some more big earnings as well. Tomorrow morning, Sony will report earnings. That's an interesting one. Barrick Gold, CME Group, Kraft Heinz, Parsons, Generac, Williams, Sunoco LP, and Martin. On Thursday, you will get Crocs, John Deere, EPAM, Yeti, Penn National Gaming, Oatly, Wendy's that report Thursday pre-market. Thursday after hours, DraftKings, Coinbase, Roku, The Trade Desk, Applied Materials, DoorDash, Toast, Open Door, and that's pretty much about it for the rest of this week. Global inventory numbers for the Model Y down ticking today from 6,900 yesterday to about 6,800 here today. The Model X inventories are actually increasing slowly but steadily, about 20 or so vehicles every single day. Model X inventory is now at about 1,900. Model S inventory is doing the same thing, uptaking a little bit, 5-10 vehicles a day. Some days it's falling by 5 or 10 vehicles, but a steady little uptrend here from the low of about 800 vehicles, now at about 1,100. The Model 3 is really the standout here, where you back here January 20th, you were at about 1,000 vehicles in inventory. You're basically working down a couple vehicles every single day. Now you're at an inventory number of about 830. So you've actually fallen in inventory since the start of 2024, which suggests to me, well, there's probably a lot of good demand in most, markets for Tesla via the Model 3. The Model 3 was recently just refreshed, so that would make a lot of sense. Google Trends data continues to uptick for the Cybertruck, going from 20 to 24. The Model Y upticking as well from 33 to 36. The Model 3 actually downticking about 1 point from 37 to 36. And the Model X, it stays pretty much the same, around 8 to 10. Today it's at 9, so that's pretty normal. Tesla continues to run about 2,000 different ads globally. Tesla stock is currently 3.28% sold short, with about $17.1 billion currently in short positions in Tesla. Tesla is one of the most heavily shorted stocks on our markets, pretty close to the #1 spot. I believe Apple may still be more short than Tesla, just because Tesla stock has fallen itself, but you're still pretty close to the #1 spot. Cost to borrow fees today about 1.2%, indicating a little bit less shorting activity than what we have been seeing lately. When those cost to borrow fees are 10% on any given day basis, that's high. That's telling you a lot of shorts is taking out short positions. And it was like 10% yesterday, I want to say. So a little bit less shorting activity today, that's for sure. Option activity from hedge funds and institutions today in Tesla stock is on the light side. 544 orders totaling about $92 million with a positive order value of 56%. If you take a look at retail, hedge funds, institutions, money managers, everyone, volume today is about 55.5% to the call side and 44.5% to the put side. So that is a pretty strong number. Now, about 60% of the total options for this Friday's expiration are calls and about 40% are puts. That's also a very strong number. On StockTwits, the sentiment barometer is extremely bearish. You're sitting at 18. I mean, that's rough. Yesterday, you were at 20. Message volume today is a little bit higher than yesterday's number of 33. Today, you're at 44, so that looks a little bit on the good side. And the participation ratio is at 42, which is categorized as low, but pretty close to normal. 13.5% of stocks today on our markets are breaking under their 50-day moving average today. That is a wild number. This is overall down about 24% today. That's just insane. These are mind-boggling numbers. This is a broad sell-off. I mean, besides Nvidia, which Nvidia is only down about 1/3%. Despite Nvidia, this is a huge sell-off today. Now you only have 46.36% of stocks that are above their 50-day moving average. This is about a 50% retracement from the high that you've seen at about 86% of stocks above their 50-day moving average back in late December. And the Russell 2000 continues to get beat up. Russell 2000 is down 3.7%. If you track the Russell 2000 using IWM is down 4.3% today. Holy moly. This is fear today like we have not seen in a very long time. Now, as I predicted yesterday, if inflation came in hotter than expected, Tesla stock would probably fall to about the 183 level. Currently, you're at 182.50, so pretty close there. Now, I'm not expecting Tesla's going to break under 180. If it does, I think it's going to be short-lived, kind of like what you've seen here on February 5th and February 6th, where Tesla broke under into the 170s and then kind of bounced right after that. There's a lot of demand in that 170 range. Now, if the markets get worse from here and we do go through a correction-like event, which is certainly possible given the sell-off that we are seeing right now, then yeah, then I would expect you break under 180. But if the markets don't go through a larger downturn here, I think all is fine with Tesla. Now, Tesla's RSI went from about 41 yesterday now to 32.3. So you're almost oversold again, which anytime you buy Tesla when the RSI is around 30 tends to be a very good trade. Obviously, that could change, right? But normally, Tesla tends to bounce around oversold on the RSI, in which you are there right now. And the MACD line really not showing much of a decline here, kind of just baselining out. But you went positive on this on February 8th. So overall, the bullish trends actually still look pretty good as far as the MACD. The RSI being above 30 still is decent, but it is a big deceleration, but you're still holding support at 180. So I'm not going to, throw in the towel on Tesla right now. I'm not going to sit here and say Tesla is destined to fall big time from here until we do get a break of 180. Now, if we get a break of 180, you're almost certainly falling to 170. That's the next gap to fill. If things get really bad in the markets, which I'm not expecting they will, maybe after NVIDIA earnings next week, but we can only speculate. Then I think Tesla stock hits an ultimate bottom of around 150. But we'll talk about this more in the next video. My expectations for the markets, for NVIDIA earnings, and what's coming next for the markets and Tesla stock. So let me know what you think about all of this information down below in the comment section. Thank you guys for joining me here today. My name is Michael Tyler. If you missed it, if you guys want to go ahead and follow the X account, it's Michael Tyler over there as well. A lot of this information we share and talk about here in these videos on a daily basis gets posted over there, as well as analysts, hedge fund opinions on our markets, on different stocks, and Tesla. Bunch of cool things happen over there, and also in the trading community. If you guys want to take advantage of that, check out the link down below in the description of this video. You guys have a great rest of your day. I will see you in the next one at 8:30 p.m. tonight, Eastern Standard Time. Until then, stay cool, guys. Do not capitulate in this market, and I will see you in the next one.